Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the second ThredUP Goody Box I've ever received, and after the first one of you guys commented that you could actually request for them to send you a box of favorites, which I had no idea you could even do. So it's been like a fast and furious saving on the app, like favoriting these things that I love, because I wanted to see like, okay, well if I favorite all these things, like are they really gonna end up in my Goody Box? Is my stylist gonna pay attention? Like how does it work? And I have to tell you, I do a lot of these unboxings. I've been doing them for quite a few years now from different companies. And this is by far the best box I've ever gotten in terms of the colors, the patterns, the styles. They knocked it out of the park with choosing things from my favorites. So to be honest with you, like as I'm pulling things out of the box, I'm like, oh, like I hope some of these don't work out, because initially I was like, I'm gonna end up buying all 10 of these items. So starting off with this dress here, this is from The Great, which if you saw my Nordstrom Trunk Club unboxing, that's when I discovered this brand and just kind of like fell in love. This is such a me, like this is the quintessential me dress for the summertime, you guys. This dress is darling. Love the midi length. I love the smocking on the bodice, just to give it like that vintagey vibe. It does have adjustable straps that are adjustable by buttons instead of like a clip, which has its pros and cons. This is 100% cotton. The lining is 100% cotton. It is just the most beautiful, feminine, romantic. Oh, I love this dress so much. The embroidery on this is absolutely stunning. Now I will say, like, I can tell that this dress definitely was loved, which is great. So I'm like a little perplexed about the price point. That's the only thing that's giving me pause, but otherwise love this sucker. Okay, so this next dress, very interesting when it comes to talking about price points on ThredUP. That's one thing, like, let me know down below. Do you find that some of their prices tend to be like a little high, or do you find that they are very reasonable? This is a dress I had been stalking on Poshmark, and so I did add it to my favorites list, and my stylist sent it to me. You guys, this is so beautiful. I mean, the moments that are going on this dress, between the eyelet detailing, the scalloping on the sleeves and on the lower hem, the fit and flare design, it is 100% cotton. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. I love this. I put this on and my husband was like, you're keeping that. And to be honest with you, it's in beautiful condition, but I was able to score this exact same dress on Poshmark literally after I applied all my credits for like $12. So in any event, like that's one thing I do appreciate about ThredUP, is it gives you the opportunity to like explore different brands and also to get a better understanding what your size is going to be like. That way, as a savvy consumer, you can cross-reference those other secondhand sites like Poshmark, The RealReal, Tradesy, even Mercari, and find like a really good bargain if you're not happy with the price of an item on ThredUP. So one of the things I wanted to do is add more silk to my closet to replace all those polyesters and other synthetics like rayon. So my stylist included this gorgeous red top here. Now unfortunately this is way too small. There's no way I could even attempt to get into it, but I love the style. And again, I'm going to use this as reference to look on some other sites, including like ThredUP's future inventory, to see if I can maybe find this in a small or even a medium. But just again, love the feminine detailing on this. It's like so subtle, it's not overwhelming. Beautiful embroidery and crochet detailing. It does have a slight peplum style to the bottom of the shirt, which is so gorgeous. And then it does have a little zipper in the back. But again, I wish I could have fit into this. I think it's absolutely darling, but it was not happening. So one of the pieces of clothing I had saved to my favorites list for weeks was a pair of wide leg silk pants, which I'm all about adding to my collection lately. And so this is another piece of clothing from The Great, and I just love the concept of these high-rise 100% silk pants with this super kicky, exaggerated wide leg. You guys, these pants just literally kill me. Love the color story and the pattern too. This floral print is so beautiful. Here's the thing I don't like about these pants though. Okay, it has an elasticized waistband, which I've talked about before on my channel. I'm so wary of, just because that strip of elastic that they include in a waistband like they did in these pants never ever ever stands the test of time, and these are like a case in point, you guys. This is a size 2 pant. Look at this waistband. These are crazy stretched out, which is unfortunate because while I understand obviously used clothing tends to be well loved, which is great, at the end of the day, if a label like The Great is gonna slap a retail price right out of the gate of $300 on a pair of pants, I'm sorry, but you have a responsibility to make sure that that piece of clothing stands the test of time. But in any event, these were super fun to try on. I think they're darling, but I will say what was interesting for me, having never even tried on a pair of 100% silk pants before, is the amount of static cling that these suckers were generating was insane. You guys, it was like, what is even going on? These were so clingy. So I don't like to use like static cling just because I don't like to spray chemicals on my body or in the air. So if you guys have like a natural remedy for how to combat static cling that actually works, please let me know below because I have yet to discover what that remedy might be. This next pair of pants was so funny because I literally pulled these out of my box and my husband was like, no. Like before I even tried them on. Now I included them to my favorites list. I thought they were cute. I mean, at least the concept. Again, this is another pair from The Great, 100% cotton. Love the button fly. It is a high rise with that paper bag waist, which I think is darling. I mean, the print, I guess in person tends to be like a little bit olderish, kind of like granny. It's definitely leaning towards that, and it does have a straight leg. It's not like a wide leg. So unfortunately these didn't really like make it for me, but they were fun to try. Oh, so this next dress, was so excited to get it because, to be honest with you, I've been stalking this sucker on Poshmark for months, but I've been vacillating because I don't know if I'd fit into a 4 or a 6. But in any event, my stylist did send this dress to me in a size 6, which is way too big for me, so good to know to look for a size 4. You guys, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Again, that midi length, which I'm a sucker for, and I love the tiered skirt. It's just so darling. It does have the exposed buttons in the back, which I think adds another sweet touch. But I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out for this sucker to see if I can snag it in a smaller size, because I literally, it's like, let the countdown to summer begin with this dress. Like, oh, I just wanna put this on and like run through a field of flowers. Oh my gosh, I love this sucker so much. So this next top was kind of disappointing just because it is 100% cotton, which you guys know I'm all about, and I love the color story. I think it's super fun and fresh for the warmer months, but for whatever reason I put it on and it was just kind of like, it wasn't really doing anything for me, which is a shame. It does have this little sleeve that is like an elbow length that is slightly wider at the cuff, just to give it like a breezier vibe. Love the neckline too. I just think it's super dear, and it does have a boxier fit to it, which I actually tend to prefer. But again, like for whatever reason, it just kind of like hung on me like a paper sack, which I was so bummed about. But honestly, I was kind of excited too. Because literally, when I started tearing into this box, and I was like screaming like a little kid at Christmas, I was so excited. I was actually starting to get a little bit worried, because at first I was like, oh my gosh, literally, if these all fit, I'm going to end up buying all 10 of these items. It was crazy. Okay, so I also got a jacket in my favorites Goody Box. I love the navy color just because it's such a versatile shade, especially when you're wearing it as an outer layer, because it doesn't compete with the rest of your outfit. I love the military style vibe of this, and I also like the Peter Pan collar just because it adds that soft feminine touch, again, to counter the more masculine cut. It does have the brass buttons, which are another sweet factor to this, and I love the lining too. Like, I love it when designers and brands just add a super fun lining to a piece of clothing, just to like give it the extra zing. Okay, so we talked earlier about pricing being an issue sometimes on ThredUP. Like, I feel like they tend to be a little steep sometimes. Case in point is this skirt here. Guys, I do not understand how in the world they came up with the price point on this sucker, because on competitive sites like Poshmark and Mercari, I've seen this skirt making the rounds because I've had my eye on it, and it tends to fluctuate between a high of like 25 bucks and as low as $10. So again, like just a word of caution, when you see something on a site, whether it is Poshmark, Mercari, or ThredUP, I just encourage you to like check the other sites and cross-reference to see if you can get it at a lower price point. The style of this is darling. I love it. I mean, I've kind of like talked ad nauseum about the fact that the midi length for skirts and dresses is definitely my cup of tea. Love the color of this. Kind of a bummer about the price point. Like, oh, I just don't get it. But good to know in terms of like, okay, this is a size that fits me. I could probably also do a small. So in keeping an eye out on those competitive sites, like now I know exactly the size I need to be able to score it at a really good price. Okay, and this next item literally just like perfectly epitomizes how everything in this box felt to me, which was special. Every single one of these pieces just felt really special, unique, exactly what I'm looking to add to my closet at this time. So when I saw this jumpsuit, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Most of my jumpsuits that I have now are all polyester blends, which I've said before I'm getting rid of in favor of natural fibers. And this cotton linen blend, oh my gosh, it feels so good on the skin. Love the wider leg, you guys. This is so darling on. Oh my gosh. It does have the buttons in the front, which are faux, thank God, because I would not want to be contending with this every time I got into it. It has a zipper in the back and also the smocking on either side. That way it's guaranteed to give you like a really nice fit. Now the one thing that's giving me pause is that the straps, again, they have like the button instead of like the clip that allows you to adjust to your perfect size. You're kind of SOL if one of these 3 buttonholes doesn't give you like the perfect strap length. So I think what I'm gonna do is either take it to a tailor or even show it to my husband, who's like a master seamstress, to see if I could add an extra buttonhole just to give me like a better fit. But oh my gosh, you guys, this is so cute. I just love this piece of clothing. Okay guys, so that is it for my very first goodie box consisting of my favorites, and this is definitely going to be like the way I go going forward, just because I love the fact that you still get like that element of surprise in your box, but everything they include in it is what you have indicated you want to receive. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Now, one of the things I thought was cool was in my goodie box was a letter from co-founder and CEO James Reinhart. Now, I'm assuming that they just sent this letter out to everybody, but in it, he's talking about like the importance of secondhand clothing and how fashion is one of the most polluting industries out there. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was. He says that more people wearing secondhand means less waste. If everyone in the US bought just one used item instead of new this year, it would save nearly 6 billion pounds of carbon emissions, the equivalent of taking 500,000 cars off the road for an entire year. Guys, that is insane. So I do have a referral code down below if you'd like to try ThredUP. It'll kick 20 bucks off your first order up until I think it's like December 31st, and then after that it switches to a $10 credit. But either way, give it a shot. I just think it's amazing, like literally the small thing we can all do to save that much pollution from being dumped on the earth. But in any event, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!